And the Artemis II mission really is creating excitement, not here in Canada only, but also around the world, inspiring the next generation of space enthusiasts. We do have a 13-year-old, Siddharth Patel, already breaking ground in his own right. Our next guest here. Last year, he discovered 2 new asteroids. This morning, as we've reached him in London, Ontario, so much more exciting things to talk about, including the launch earlier this week. Siddharth, thank you so much for talking to us this morning.
Thank you for having me today.
My colleague Mark and I have been talking about just how exciting this mission is. How exciting was it for you to see that rocket on the launch pad and see it take off to outer space?
It was really thrilling when the rocket was on the pad and when the boosters when the boosters actually ignited, the force of it, 8.8 million pounds of thrust. It was so cool, so much power. It's basically like lifting a whole football field 100 kilometers in the air, and there's so much thrust and so much excitement in the air. It was just truly amazing, and a mission like this hasn't happened in over 50 years, and it's a really historical mission of Artemis II, and yeah.
I love to hear how excited you are, because we've been hearing so much from astronauts, seasoned people within the space industry, and to see you, this young person, 13 years old, who already knows so much about space is really inspiring. And you do know a lot about space. You've been watching the sky since you were just a little boy, about 5 years old. I see a telescope behind you there. What has the highlight been for you so far as someone who really has been watching space for years?
A highlight, because one day I went to a dark sky site, and when I looked up, there were thousands of stars, and that I was like, there's so many stars in this vast universe, I have to just go and explore them all.
And I know
that was really a breathtaking experience.
It really does remind us that we are just a tiny being here in what is a massive universe, hard to wrap our heads around. I know that you want to be an astronaut when you grow up, just like Jeremy Hansen, and you already have some similarities with him. He's from the same region as you, London, Ontario. And just like you, he was dreaming about going to the moon one day. How has this really inspired you in imagining yourself actually fulfilling that dream?
Jeremy Hansen is really a big role model for me. I really he's such a huge inspiration for me and a lot more people. And he started just like any one of us. He actually he one day he was actually reading an encyclopedia, and he actually found an image of an astronaut of a Neil Armstrong on the moon, and that image really stayed in his head. And then he had actually a tree house, and he imagined that as a rocket ship. So he started getting more interested in space. He actually participated in the Air Cadets at the age of 12, and then after that he got his glider pilot license. Then he got his pilot's license. Then he went on to getting a degree in space and science, and then getting master's in physics, which was really cool. And then he got his fighter pilot license. And then after all of that, he finally got admitted to the Canadian Space Agency. And when he got admitted into this Canadian Space Agency, there was lots of rigorous training there. And after 17 years of rigorous training, he's actually living his dream right now in space, floating right now, and going to the moon.
It is amazing. I think you should teach your own course to children about all that we know about Jeremy Hansen, because you know so much about him. You have your own achievements, though, and you are charting your own course. You discovered not 1, but 2 asteroids. First of all, how cool was that?
It was really cool to actually discover 2 asteroids in space. So basically how it started out, I I was looking for new space opportunities, and then I found something called Citizen Science Project. Citizen Science Projects are basically real world space challenges that anyone can actually solve it. And so basically, I wanted to participate in that since I really love space. And I was looking for campaigns until I crossed a campaign where you can actually discover an asteroid. And I was really like, I really want to do that. And then I immediately signed up for that. Then I got 4 images from a telescope at Hawaii called Pan-STARRS. And then I had to process those images and discover an asteroid through those images.
And we're actually looking at some of your photos that you took yourself as you're speaking.
Yeah, so these are some of the images. And so basically, I started actually looking through the images. It was really like time consuming, but I really loved the experience of discovering the asteroids. And then there's actually a process included. So basically, when I give the asteroid coordinates to the International Astronomical Research Collaboration by NASA, they will review the images and then give the coordinates to MPC, which is the Minor Planet Center, and they will review those coordinates and the orbit of the asteroid for 1 year of continuous visualization. And after 1 year, they'll give the provisional designations, and there's only 1% of those preliminary detections that have been to the 1% provisional, and my 2 asteroids are provisional.
Well, Siddharth, I love your enthusiasm. You have the smarts, the curiosity, and you have the optimism for what is out there to be discovered in space. The qualities of a future astronaut. We look forward to everyone remember his face. We may be talking to him in a couple of decades. Siddharth Patel, just 13 years old, a space enthusiast, joining us from London, Ontario this morning.